Alright guys, so a new Netflix watch today, which is Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, which just came out yesterday, I believe, starring Zac Efron as Ted Bundy. Um, and it's basically just the recount of what happens between Ted Bundy and Liz and up to his execution. Now, this one, watching it, to me, I was excited for it because Zac Efron is an actor that I think is a really good, like, he's a very good comedic actor. I do like him in some of the movies I've seen him in that he does humor, and he doesn't do a lot of serious movies. So I thought that this would be honestly a good fit for him, really, because I feel like he's a great choice because even though I don't know a lot about the real Ted Bundy, I know that this guy was manipulative, was really, really, in a way, he could say anything and people believe him. And it is truly scary in how horrific and sadistic this guy was. And Zac Efron, for some reason, I think really, really worked in this movie because you have an actor who is a smooth talker, a good-looking person, so you can get the idea and feeling of why he works so well as this character because of the smooth talking, and because in the movie itself there are women that are saying that they are in love with him because of how good he looks and how they think he couldn't kill anybody because of how good he looks. And there's a lot of that flack that happened and still happens where, like, women and men that kill have to be ugly. They're not good looking. They've got to be ugly to kill. And, like, Ted Bundy is obviously one of the biggest exceptions where people are like people think he's good looking, but, like, he murdered at least over 30 people. So it is scary in how this person in real life was, but how Zac Efron plays him is actually really, really terrifying as well. Like, he truly gives a fantastic performance in this movie, and I can't stress enough how glad I am for an actor like Zac Efron to do a movie like this because, again, he did mostly comedies for the most part that I've seen him in. So I love the fact that this actor can become this horrifying real life character and play it really incredibly well because of that. I think he is really, really incredibly fantastic in this movie. Just very scary in a trusting way, just like the real Ted Bundy. And of course, gaining a following on his looks and how he is so trusting. And the movie also is about Liz, who was his girlfriend and then wife, and her recounting the situation too. Now, I do like the fact that it's not just about Ted Bundy. I like that it's about her as well because you really see what the other side of the relationship is, where, like, this normal woman is dealing with all of this awful shit and realizes it. She denies it as much as he does, but I love the fact that it worked so well with her as well as the other side of the coin of the normal person of the relationship. So I love those two in the movie. The movie itself, for me, watching this, I thought it was good because of the performances. The performances were incredible. But the movie is just typical, like, literal recount of, like, a reinterpretation of, like, Ted Bundy and everything that happened to him. It's from what I've heard, it's just the basics that like, people know from Ted Bundy. So even though I didn't know fully everything about Ted Bundy, I feel like I do now, but I felt like this was done, honestly, in kind of a boring way of telling it. Like, the story was kind of told very boring. Even though the performances kept me pulled in and kept me intrigued throughout, the movie still just fell flat for being just not very interesting to me. Like, it just really suffered from being the exact, like, it felt like it was just played so straight. Like, there was nothing really special about it, which is so weird to say because this is a real-life serial killer that people are interested in, which is interesting as well. But it's really interesting that this movie just plays it very straight in a way where it's not very interesting, at least to me. And people probably will disagree with me on that. But this movie also had gotten a lot of mixed reviews. Besides Efron's performance, like everybody else thought the movie was just kind of bland. And honestly, it is. Like, I don't think there's much that's really special about it besides Zac Efron's performance. Like, it is a well done, well made movie, but it's just pretty uninteresting to me. Like, watching this, I didn't expect this to be brutal at all, really. I didn't expect this to be like a gory movie. Like, I felt like that would have been disrespectful to like the people who actually were murdered by him. But I felt like this one just, while I appreciated it for being what it was, I just thought this was kind of boring. Like, it wasn't super interesting because it was just played straight throughout. Like, there's nothing really special about the movie besides Zac Efron's performance. And the acting all around is good, but he's the one who sells it. But besides that, this movie isn't very special, and that's a sad thing to say about a movie about one of the most famous serial killers ever that people really are intrigued on interest finding interest about. I don't really, but I thought that they did this fine, even though I don't know much about him. Like in real life, I don't really care to look up stuff like that much. But yeah, overall, this one was just not very interesting to me. Like, it had a fantastic performance by Zac Efron, but everything else is just bland and played straight. That's all I could say about this one. This one was not like. What do you guys think? Like, do you think you disagree with me? Because I feel like this one just isn't very interesting in my opinion. But if you're a fan of looking up Ted Bundy stuff, maybe you are going to like this. But for me personally, I just didn't really think this was very interesting. So that's my thoughts on Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile. And tell me down below what you think of this movie, and do you agree with me or disagree with me? So thank you guys so much for watching.